This podcast is sponsored by Comcast RISE, a broad initiative that launched in 2020 to provide eligible small businesses owned by people of color with the marketing and technology resources and tools they need to grow their business and thrive for years to come. Applications are open now and will be available through October 14th. Each Twin Cities business can apply for a $10,000 grant at ComcastRISE.com. A total of 100 grants in the Twin Cities will be awarded in late November to eligible businesses in the 7-county Twin Cities metro area of Anoka, Carver, Dakota, Hennepin, Ramsey, Scott, and Washington counties. The Comcast RISE Investment Fund is focused on small businesses that have been in business for 3 or more years with 1 to 25 employees. If you have a business, please apply. If you know someone who has a business or you patronize someone that has a business that you think meets these qualifications, please encourage them to apply at ComcastRISE.com.
When you run your own business, you got to be ready for opportunities at a moment's notice.
We are 132 Design, and we are in the business of helping other businesses. The demand for our services skyrocketed when COVID hit.
Our ability to service our clients was suffering.
We couldn't believe it when we received the grant from the RISE program.
We got an office space immediately.
Now we have a place to collaborate with each other and our clients.
Game changer.
Apply for a chance to receive a $10,000 grant from Comcast RISE, because when opportunities rise, so should you.
Comcast helped us. Now we can help our community.
Available in Houston, Miami, Oakland, Seattle, the Twin Cities, and Washington, D.C. Apply October 1st through October 14th at ComcastRISE.com and keep rising.
Hello and welcome to the Makers in Minnesota. I'm Stephanie Hansen. We love to talk with cool people doing cool things. And today's podcast is actually sponsored by a cool company. It is Comcast, who I've had the pleasure to work on a couple of programs with. And they are doing something really cool with local entrepreneurs and local makers. And we wanted to get the word out. It is the program that we're calling Comcast RISE. And it's a broad initiative that they've just launched. And we have Kalyn Hove here to talk about it today. She is with Comcast. Welcome to the Makers in Minnesota, Kalyn.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for having me join you today.
I'm really excited. I want to know where the Comcast RISE program initiated and why it's so important to you guys.
Well, really, maybe first what I should point out is RISE champions representation, investment, strength, and empowerment for small businesses. You know, RISE really champions representation, investment, strength, and empowerment for small businesses, specifically owned by people of color. As we look at the impact of the pandemic and as we look at the impact of the civil unrest, unfortunately, small businesses owned by people of color were disproportionately impacted. And so this is just one way that Comcast can make a difference. Within the RISE program, we are actually going to be giving out $1 million in grants to local Twin Cities businesses. There will be $10,000 grant given to 100 small businesses.
That is so cool, because if you listen to this program, you hear all the time that a big barrier for small business in general, women-owned businesses, businesses of people of color, it is that there isn't the capital investment and that the small business loans are hard to obtain. So I applaud you for, I guess we're hearing the term putting your money where your mouth is. You know,
Yes.
This is hard, cold cash, and $10,000 for a startup is quite an investment. How do people apply for these grants?
The application process is fairly easy. What you will do is you will go out to www.comcastrise.com, and the application process will be open October 1st through the 14th. So I encourage anyone who's interested to ensure they get out and apply during that 2-week period. And then these grants will be awarded in November.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to release this podcast on Friday. So it will be open when you guys hear this. And what do you see from a Comcast perspective as challenges for small businesses right now? Obviously investment, but are there other things that you're seeing, like potentially technology challenges?
Yes, most definitely. I think there's digital inequities just across the board. As we launched this program, we really launched it in a couple different facets. One initially was giving technology makeovers to small businesses. Many small businesses don't have the state of the art equipment and technology needed to really compete effectively. And so we were doing things such as providing internet and voice services and cybersecurity for a 12-month period. I think, as you know, unfortunately, throughout the pandemic and civil unrest, cyber criminals have really taken advantage of a lot of small businesses too. So that is one thing we were doing. And then we were also offering marketing services through our partner Effect TV, providing advertising, creative agency to small businesses. So those things were really key. But what we found is every business's needs are different. And so giving a $10,000 grant that they can really leverage in whatever way their business most needed, that investment really allowed them to make an impact. And so that's why there is this $10,000 grant, literally no strings attached. It is theirs to use as they see fit for their small business.
What I like about this grant is it targets companies that have 1 to 25 employees that have been in business for 3 or more years. And that's kind of a critical juncture as a small business owner, because they say that there's a really small percentage of small businesses that make it over 5 years. So that 3 to 5 years is like, it's past a hobby. You've invested in your business. You've now probably got an employee or 2 or 10, and you're trying to figure out how to scale up to that next level. And it is, I find as a business person myself, that it is really in this critical piece that the financial investment usually needs to come, because it is technology or marketing or getting the word out that will put them into the next space.
You nailed it. That is such a critical time for small businesses. And we see if they can survive past that year 5, right? Odds of them having a successful long-term business are much greater. So that is why we did have that requirement for 3 years in business and 1 to 25 employees. That tends to be the subset that really needs the extra support during that time. Our hope is that as we kind of rebuild following the pandemic and civil unrest, that we build a more fair and equitable business community than we've ever had before. And I think this is a great way as we help support these small businesses who have only been in business for, a short amount of time, 3 to 5 years, for example.
Yeah. And I think when you look at the civil unrest and you look at how the pandemic has impacted business, and also employees and families, when you think about how we're going to unravel that, it takes everyone's personal commitment to their career, their families. We've seen a ton of job shift and people going more to more flexibility, work from home. I really think we're changing the way that Americans work for the next 10 to 20 years. And I think we're going to see so many more small businesses and people that are startups. I can just feel it. I work with a lot of food and beverage folks, and the amount of investment that we're seeing from new people in the field, new Asian folks, new Black folks, new Indigenous people, more women coming to the fold and really kind of taking the reins and saying, it's time for me to start my own thing. I think that's really exciting. And I think it's exciting for the marketing piece too, because we're going to have access to so many new, unique products and cool opportunities.
It is. We talk about diversity a lot, right? As a country. But when we think about diversity in business, the thought that goes into that and the impact it can make on our economy, not only that maybe the communities in which these businesses reside, but the broader economy, it's really exciting to see what's coming to the forefront.
Yeah, there was a really cool story today that just released that Delta Airlines is going to be carrying a local vodka maker on all of their planes. And it's someone that we interviewed in season 1. It's Denord Social Spirits with Chris Montana and his wife, Chanel. And their business burned down in the pandemic. And, something like Delta really saying like, look, we're going to make this commitment and we're going to put our money where our mouth is will not only change his business and the business for his employees, but it will also change his community because he's going to be building a facility in North Minneapolis and move his distillery to South Minneapolis for the tap room. And just what that does, how that bleeds out into the community when you partner with the right people. I really think that that's what this does, is it puts the money to the boots on the ground that allows them to hire, that allows them to do more to propel their business. So I'm really excited about this.
Thank you. I surely am too. And the news about Delta, to me, I think, we know no single organization can solve historic and systemic inequities overnight, right? But companies like Comcast and Delta, in my opinion, have a responsibility to step up right now. And, this is one way in which we are stepping up. And I'm hoping you'll hear in the upcoming months more ways that Comcast is stepping up to serve, those individuals that maybe need the extra support as we just kind of work our way out of this pandemic. And specifically here in Minnesota, the way civil unrest hit us, there's so much that we can do. It's interesting. We've given a few of these technology makeovers out already to some small businesses, and the stories we're hearing, they bring tears to my eyes as they talk about the impact. I think we often forget how badly these small businesses need our support.
Yeah, I'm really excited for what you guys are doing. It's ComcastRISE.com. If you are someone that qualifies for this type of program, please go ahead and fill out the application. But I think even more than that, some of this is just, it's who you know, right?
Yes.
So we have to play the who you know game. And you know me, I know you know other people that listen to this program or other entrepreneurs. It's throughout the state of Minnesota. So go ahead and spread the word for people that you know that are in small businesses. And again, the only qualifications are that you've been in business 3 years and you have 1 to 25 employees.
And the business needs to be owned by a person of color. I want to make sure everybody understands that you don't have to be a Comcast customer to apply for this. There's no ties in that way. And it's available to any eligible business that's in the 7-county Twin Cities metro area. So Anoka, Carver, Dakota, Hennepin, Ramsey, Scott, and Washington counties are what's open for this first round of investment funds that we'll be giving out, the first $1 million.
Will you then be circling back and kind of featuring stories of some of these people, I'm assuming?
Most definitely. We're excited to share them. I personally am so excited to see the stories unfold, to see the impact that these investments will make on these small businesses. And we'll most definitely share those stories with you and others. So thank you for helping us get the word out. I can't stress enough how important it is that individuals help spread the word for this. So if it's a business you frequent, it's somebody you know. It's like you said, Stephanie, we're also interconnected. And that's what's going to make the greatest impact right now on ensuring every single one of these $110,000 grants are put in the hands of the small businesses who need it.
All right. Well, I'm a Comcast customer, so thank you from the bottom of my Comcast heart. ComcastRISE.com. Go ahead and get your application filled out, and we will wait to hear more stories in the future about how you guys were helping to uplift businesses at this critical time. So thank you.
Thank you for being a Comcast customer, and thank you for helping tell our story.
All right. We'll talk soon.
Have a good day.
We couldn't believe it when we received the grant from the RISE program.
We got an office space immediately.
Now we have a place to collaborate with each other and our clients.
Apply October 1st through October 14th at ComcastRISE.com for a chance to receive a $10,000 grant. Keep rising.